This is our statistics project by James, Casey, Mitch, and Andrew.
And our topic is, what is your height? The conjecture. We predicted that our data was going to show that males typically were taller than females. We think this because while we were collecting our data, we made some observations and saw that most of the time the men were taller than the women. Also, we saw that the shortest person was a woman and the tallest person we saw was a man.
In our first histogram on female height, it ranges from 58 to 61 inches to 74 to 77. And our data was evenly spread throughout.
The second is the distribution between the men. And we didn't have any men range from 58 to 61, but mostly the men were ranging 70 to 73 inches.
And then the overall distribution, it was pretty even and spread out, as majority of our data was in the middle, ranging from 68 to 69 and then 70 to 73 inches.
For measures of central tendency, so all the data, the mean was 68.45 inches, the median was 60 inches, and the mode was 65 inches. The mean best describes the data because the histogram shows that majority of the people have a height between 70 to 73 inches. Therefore, the mean is the closest to these values. And for the female data, the mean was 65 inches, the median was 66 inches, and the mode was 65 inches. And then the mean and mode both represent our data because based on our data, most females have a height ranging from 62 to 69 inches. And then lastly, the male data, the mean was 71 inches, median was 72 inches, and the mode was 72 inches. The median and mode both represent our data the best because most of the male heights were ranging around 72 inches.
For the shape and spread of the histograms, in the females is very symmetric, as their data peaks in the middle and is a gradual fall off on the left and the right. And it shows that their height ranges from 62 to 69 inches. For the males, it is more biased towards the right side, as the males does not have data ranging in the lower areas, as it peaks from 70 to 73 inches. And for all the data, the histogram is slightly skewed to the right because of the males' data, as it ranges from 70 to 73 inches, as the females is more 62 to 68 inches.
This is variance and standard deviation. So standard deviation is a measure of how dispersed the data is in relation to the mean. A low standard deviation means data are clustered around the mean, and a high standard deviation indicates data are more spread out. And then a variance is a measure of how far a set of numbers is spread out from the average value. Low variance indicates that data are generally similar and do not vary widely from that mean. High variance indicates that the data values have greater variability and are more widely dispersed from the mean. The standard deviation for the females was 3.04, and it was from our histogram. The value of 3.04 is our low number, but not as low as the male standard deviation number. This means that our standard deviation value is telling us that our data is close together in all of our values, but not as close as the males. Our variance for females from our histogram data came out to 9.25. The value is kind of high, but not too high. This tells us that our data for female heights are somewhat spread out, but not super spread out. The data comes from a range of heights that are not widespread.
Our standard deviation for male value is 2.868136, and this means that our data of heights of males are not as widespread as in a more tight range. It also shows that the data are clustered closely around the mean, which means this is more reliable. Our variance value for male from our histogram data of male heights came out to 8.2261905. This value of variance is a little bit lower than the value that we had for our female variance value. This tells us that our variance for male height is not as widespread as the set of values heights of females. Our range for male height is tighter and closer. This is our box and whisker plot values for all of our data. Our minimum value is 59, while our maximum value is 77. Our quartile 1 was 65, quartile 2 is 68, and quartile 3 is 72. Our female box and whisker values came out to be a minimum of 63, a maximum of 73, and quartile 1 was 65, quartile 2 was 66, and quartile 3 was 68. Our male box and whiskers plot values came out to be a minimum of 68, a maximum of 77. The quartile 1 was 70, the median was 71, quartile 3 was 73, and the mean was 71.6.
Our sampling techniques were unbiased because we took a random sample of people's heights. We sampled an even amount of girls and boys and took a random survey from a classroom and from social media. The choice of classroom and the open-ended response on social media helped increase a true random sample. Therefore, our sampling technique was unbiased.
Our interpretation was in our female data, we had some outliers. We had one female who had a height of 73 inches, or 6 foot and 1 inch. This could have thrown off our data because this height could be considered an outlier. In addition, we had 2 females with a height of 59, which could explain why our mean was 65. It is so much lower than 71. Our male had 2 outliers, 77 inches and 76 inches. This could have layered the mean, median, and mode to make our data less accurate.
On average, male heights were consistently in a range from 70 to 73 inches.
The mean of our data is accurate as the spread of our standard deviation is around 4, which shows that all the data is around the mean.
Within the population of our sample, a majority of seniors and juniors, their heights are particularly based on gender.
Women, on average, at Dana Hills High School are about 3 to 4 inches shorter than guys per average means.
The mode for females is 65 and the median is 66. However, the guys for the
It was 72 and the median is 72. The difference between the middle and most occurring number is small, which proves our data to be accurate. Our conjecture discussion was that we predicted that males were going to be taller than females. Our data has proven that our hypothesis was correct because on average mean of the males, which is 71, over the females, which is 65. This information was confirmed by the box and whisker plots and histograms. All of our data and central tendencies prove this, and our mean values differ by 6 inches between female and male. Outliers were that 73 as a height for the females was an outlier and 68 was the bottom outlier for males. Done.